Yeah, she
Or
tries
them.
something funny.
Yeah.
Ass is out.
Your ass is grass.
And you're about to mow it.
What?
Stop.
It's from Bob's Burgers.
Welcome to the Operation STRIX podcast. I am your host, LaCroix. Joining me today is Roski Draftsman,
Hello, everyone.
Dancing Pineapples,
Hello.
and back from the grave, Cannibal Food.
Hello.
She's been dead for, what was it, like a year and a half. But she's back.
I'm still dead. Don't worry.
She's risen. Yeah, we're all dead right now.
Zombie.
We're super dead today.
We're corpses for Halloween.
Don't say.
We are.
You
By
don't
the
say.
way, our next episode is going to be on Halloween when it comes out, so we need to do something for that.
Hell yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, we'll have Roski sing again. You did that one year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wouldn't mind, but
Yeah, we'll work something out. But
yeah,
we'll worry about that later. Today we're here to discuss what was it, chapter 88, the long-awaited sequel to the previous chapter, as it's been a month and a half. I think the last chapter was on September 4th, September 3rd. So yeah, that's been a hot minute.
And well, we got a lot of Damian this weekend.
A lot of Daimi this whole weekend, because on top of that, we've also got episode 27 of the anime, and that was Damian and the boys with their little field trip to Mr. Green and Bond and Lloyd. So we'll talk about the episode later. Let's go ahead and get to the chapter first. And we got full shojo moments after well, what was the last chapter? Oh, it was just like cutesy, like Anya
It was
stuff,
the
right?
decompression chapter.
Right.
Yeah,
We needed it.
We did.
we
And
did. I knew these eating kids, they were a long time coming. I've been
really
waiting for
were.
them.
I kudos to Endo. Yeah, he held off. I know he's got that trigger finger of just like, all right, boom, Eden Academy chapter, but he didn't have we didn't have that for a long time, so I'm not mad at it.
I mean, at this point, it's like
today.
it's fine. You kind of earned that after all the tension of the mold arc.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it wasn't just like a throwaway chapter, like, or like half of the Eden chapters. Like, this one was actual, like, Damian, Anya, just being cute. Like, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Even though I'm not like the biggest Damian Anya person. Yeah.
We got some lore. We got some Melinda.
Oh, Melinda.
We got one panel, but yeah.
What'd you say, Pat?
Nice.
About lore?
Oh, it literally, like, that little sentence on, like, the first page about how, like, the cakes that Damian was giving Anya were also, like, a gift from King Willie II to the queen of an enemy nation.
Oh, somebody's got to update the wiki on this one.
Things are just looking. Maybe it's a metaphor. I don't know.
A metaphor.
It's Endo just throwing a bone to people. Well, no, it's more like throwing a monkey wrench to people. It's just, oh yeah, by the way, there's a random tidbit of world building that I'm not gonna mention ever again.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, we'll talk about that, because we had me and Pines are putting on our tinfoil hats earlier this morning, and we've got a chaos theory for this situation, but we'll get into that. We'll talk about Damian finally returning Anya's favor by getting her the like Pines was saying, I don't know what to call them, like the most expensive tea cakes in the country, basically. So he's like, I gotta get these to Anya, but I can't let the boys find out. Gross. So yeah, it was just him trying to get her tea cakes, and of course the what was it? Emil and Ewan always getting in the way, and Becky. God bless Becky. She is.
She said, "I need
so
my free
popular.
entertainment."
For real. She Roski, she is that Thea who is just addicted to novellas. Like she is fucking on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she will totally love Mexican television.
For real. I can see Becky just plopping down in front of the TV and just marathoning novellas all day, but
no one introduced her to them.
I mean, she's basically
Doesn't she already
on
watch
them,
soap
isn't she?
operas?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For Linton Love, I think.
I just know she will love Ruby.
Oh my god, do not bring that up. Oh my god, not that show. Completely off topic. My Spanish teacher in high school used to make us watch that every day, and I learned a lot of Spanish from watching Ruby. Did y'all have any standout moments in this chapter, guys? Like, I really this was probably the first chapter in a while where I was just smiling the whole time. I thought it was cute. Daimi and Anya have this they have this thing going on where they're kind of friends, but at the same time they kind of hate each other. But they're also like, I don't know, like everyone.
Yeah, so regular friends then.
Yeah. I think she just thinks he's rude.
Yeah. You think Anya thinks he's rude?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, yeah. I mean, doesn't she outright say it?
Yeah, but
yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's funny because it's like Anya's just like, I have to do this for the mission. I have to put up with the most bratty kid in Ostania for Lloyd's mission. And Damian, meanwhile, is out here shojo filtering her. Like, she's not like a little gremlin.
Nope. That shojo filter, that was the hardest shojo I've seen Damian, in complete denial. I'm like, do you know who Anya is? Like, I know you know who Anya is. That's not Anya.
I know, that's not Anya. But to be fair, one of the characters in Kindergarten Wars, he's obsessed with shoujo manga. Like he thinks all the people around him are characters in a shoujo manga.
Oh yeah.
He's the main character, everyone else is side characters.
No, he's the side character. Everyone else is the main character.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh. Those are more fun to be around, I feel like. They're just in it for the drama.
Becky Core.
Becky Core. 100% Becky Core. She is I love Becky so much. She's just she's in it for the ride. I love it because she hates Damian's guts, but because she thinks Anya loves her, she's like, I'm gonna set you two up. I'm gonna get this going. But then Anya's like, I need time alone. Becky's like, no, I'm coming with you. Yeah. And then, of course, the boys are... okay, these two are just Tweedledee and Tweedledummer, because they're just we have to protect Damian because Anya... Oh, well, to be fair, Anya did beat him up once already, so...
Yeah, but
they're probably a little protective.
But... They think that Anya's gonna fight him again?
You mean beat his ass again, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, her note didn't help any... anyway.
Oh, yeah, I love that note.
The death note?
Just
yeah, it's that typography gag incarnate, that, the letter you choose matters, and, I'm always thinking about you in this cute cursive, and then you put the most murderous letter ever, and the message feels completely different.
Well, I didn't notice she said meet, like meet. I'll meet you in the courtyard. I was like, is she gonna beat you to a pulp? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. I'm just surprised she wrote anything legibly. So good for Anya.
It's progress.
It's progress. She's learning. And
that's
to be
actually
fair,
really
she's 4 years
impressive.
old. Right.
Yeah.
She's 4 years old.
To even write at that age is...
Yeah, I can barely still write. I'm 31.
Oh.
But it was just the eat kids big stupid like they always do, but yeah, and then Anya and Damian finally get alone, and Anya goes full on like I don't even know what, like Sailor Moon, latches onto Damian's. I don't want you to go, and Damian's got rose petals in the background. He's screaming, and
I was screaming.
Yeah,
Literally the funniest panel of all time.
It was
kudos to Henderson, man. Henderson's Henderson's the real one. He's the one trying to, well, not set them up, but he's like, I see what's going on here, and then like,
no, yeah. I mean, Henderson
No,
is.
you don't.
you don't.
Henderson is the. I mean, we really don't have much background on all the other Eden teachers, but however they are, I feel Henderson. One of the strengths of Henderson is that he is very perceptive, emotionally speaking.
Yeah.
Like he gets his students.
Right.
Like even like exactly like going back to the chapter that was adapted into the anime episode of this week.
Uh-huh.
You see that he caught on really, really quickly, like, oh yeah, these guys want to get punished just so they can help Damian. Okay, I'm gonna punish you the same way. Because he could have given them any other kind of punishment, but he quickly latched on like, oh, they just want to help his friend. Your friend. So.
Yeah.
He's a teacher who cares, and I love that about him. Because you don't really see that, like teachers who like care so deeply about their students.
Right.
And that amount of perception, I adore that.
I do too. Yeah, especially because when I was doing when I was taking pictures for the our last Anya debrief, one of the ones was with I forgot her name, but the Tonitrus Bolt lady who gave Anya her second Tonitrus. And she was like, Henderson, like, what happened to you? You've gotten soft on me. She's like, is that the first graders who are doing that to you? So I don't know if it's so much that Henderson. I think it's always been there for Henderson, but I think lately, like with Anya and the kids, he's really starting to soften up more. Which I am all for it. I am all for nice Grandpa Henderson.
I think what it is just like when you become a teacher and you're teaching the upper years, you become more jaded and like you just rediscover the joy of teaching, especially with younger kids who are just like you can see their progress more visibly.
Right.
You can also feel like their enthusiasm because the older you get, the more disinterested you become in learning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ideally you manage to keep that enthusiasm for learning, but if you teach, well, I mean, I've dealt with some children that are really, really eager to learn. Then you get to, I don't know, something around middle schooler, and they do not give a shit.
Yeah.
And so having to deal with people that, well, with kids that are actually interested in learning, that they look up to you. It changes the dynamic with them, that they are innocent, that they can correct their mistakes. They can, children are precious when it comes to teaching.
Yeah, I think like I like that determination, especially in younger kids. Like this one kid, I taught her how to tie her shoes, and then she ended up stealing my shoes so she could practice.
Oh.
I like, especially with younger children, I like that determination. I was like, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna sit here and you can tie my shoes.
Yeah. I think it's just also like, I don't know, your walls really come down around kids, especially because they just catch you off guard so often. But yeah, no, kids are something else. Younger kids are something else.
Yeah, they have some interesting ways of thinking.
Yeah. you have to adapt, and I think Henderson's really good at that.
There's
I think he's trying to foster like more of a social connection
Mm-hmm.
between like classmates because Anya doesn't really have any other social connections other than Becky. So to
Mm.
have more like positive engagement um, with other students, I think that's an important part.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think I mean, it works for the most part, especially so Anya lets it slip, and I didn't catch this, but Anya was like, "Okay, now that you gave me the cake, you and I could be friends now." Uh, and Damian's like, "Wait a minute, so like, why did you call me out in the first place? Like, what? If you weren't there to like confess to me or something like that, then why did you think that we were gonna be friends after this?" So she's like, "Oh fuck." She's like, "Never mind." And then Damian's like, "What do you mean?" And Anya's like, "I didn't mean nothing." And so Henderson's just like, "Okay, just get the hell out of here."
You get
Like,
out. Yeah.
I'm done with you. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if like they're honestly the ending of this chapter kind of leaves it up in the air as to like, is Damien gonna like suspect something more now? Like he's like, did she just like straight up read my mind or something? Or I don't know.
I don't.
Oh.
I mean,
Doubtful.
I don't know
she
if
has.
he's that smart.
I
He's
mean,
not
she
smart at
has
all.
already suspected that she can read minds before.
He
So
did. Back when they were playing cards, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's more like a passing, thought. It's like, oh, it's like she could read my mind kind of thing. You never actually think that it is true. It's just,
Yeah, well, he's 6. He also believes that he's a superhero and can do like cartwheels and shit like that. So I don't know. It could be. I don't know. Like I said, Damien's not the smartest person in the room, but I don't know.
he's a 6-year-old.
Exactly.
he's a 6-year-old. He's smart for a 6-year-old.
He is. I'll
Yeah,
give him that.
that
But
is something.
yeah. You know what? That really leads into episode 27, where him and the boys, they go and do their little field trip, I guess, with Mr. Green. Um, but I like the God, I cannot talk right now. I like the lesson, like the overall lesson of that, where it's like, look, studying's fine, but you also have to like, you have to take a rest, and also, life isn't all about books. Like, you learn other stuff by doing other things, and
Yeah,
uh yeah, I really like that whole sequence with Green, like going around making them make their own fishing
catch
rods,
their own
and
fish
yeah, catch their
and
own fish. Um,
hmm.
It's like life experience. I think like the world is more than just books and just
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
learning.
like
mhm,
there's more to the world than book smarts.
yeah.
Okay, the funny thing is that I like this. I like the chapter in the manga.
Mhm.
I like the overall tone of the episode, but if I can be extremely nitpicky for a moment,
Mhm.
okay, this is you can kind of feel this is the episode that is not getting the bulk of the budget.
Oh, for sure. I would believe that.
Yeah,
I haven't
I
watched the
definitely.
episode, but
Oh, definitely with the Bond part. Yeah,
yeah.
the Bond
You
part was really choppy.
it, I don't know. I feel like the whole episode had like this visual language that feels kind of generic for Spike's family. Because one of the things that stands out about the anime adaptation is that it kind of takes the time to go above and beyond the storyboarding of typical anime to try to make the humor a little more grounded.
Uh huh.
Yet here it was like, oh, this kind of looks like a visual gag out of any other generic school life comedy or One Punch Man or something like that. It just looked a little stuck. The way,
What example comes to mind when you think of that?
um, like for instance, the use of these very limited animation for Bond's imagination. It works in the context of Bond because he's a
Oh
dog.
yes, I was thinking of Bond when you were saying that. Um, I was thinking that at the very beginning, that's what threw me off. Was like right when the episode opened and like Bond, you see that he's having this vision, and it's like static for a second, and then it just cuts back to Bond, and then you see him like panicking, like is he gonna die, blah blah. But like it was so quick, and it was unclear as to what was happening that it didn't. That like me as a viewer, I know what happened in that chapter, but like even me just watching that, it wasn't clear to me that Bond couldn't see the
Yeah,
future because he was gonna die. Like it
yeah. It
didn't.
it, it, it was poorly. It was poorly like poorly structured because
Right.
the ideal way to convey that would be to show Bond sitting, the intermission to the static, and then blackness, and then it's like, oh, she is trying to see the future and he sees nothing.
Right.
Right. It's such a simple fix. But in general, I feel like the bulk of the episode just tried to cut some corners. It was still presentable. It's
Yeah.
just like you know that the later episodes with the vote are gonna eat a lot of the animation resources because of
I can see that.
the action sequences and the
Yeah.
potential bombs and blah blah blah, and all that jazz. But
Yeah.
even in the Damian segment, uh, I don't know. I feel like
Still
some
kind of
of
choppy.
yeah, I feel like some aspects of it could be a little more impactful for like the very climax of the episode. When they
Mm-hmm.
get to the Stella Lake.
Yeah.
Um, when
Could
I
have used some
see
more shojo filter on that one.
no, they could use a different. They could use a
I'm
different.
serious.
They could use altogether a completely different camera movement because one of the things like okay, how to explain it? One of the things that the Spikes Family manga doesn't do as fantastically as the other things that it does great
Mm-hmm.
are probably the night shots. Except for that one in the manga, because in that panel you can actually feel the awe that these children are experiencing. You
Mm-hmm.
can see that they feel small watching something very, very big that is, the stars, the universe reflected on
Mm-hmm.
this body of water. And it's very simple. In technical terms, it's not really that hard to draw something like that, but it's conveyed very impactfully.
Mm-hmm.
You actually feel you can actually see how these children will be mesmerized by the sight.
Right.
And in the anime, it's just like, oh,
It's kind of a passing shot.
yeah, it's like pretty stars, and like, sure,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah, it was
it,
pretty, but like you said, it could have like panned out from like the lake, and then it panned up to the stars, and kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it, like you said, there's better ways it could have presented it, but yeah, it just kind of it looked like the camera just kind of like floated by, and it was like, oh look, the pretty lake, and then it just went back to Damian, and it was like,
yeah, and
okay.
like it felt underwhelming for a moment that yeah, it's probably not the most important moment in the manga, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
moment that conveys
Support for Damian,
greatness. Yeah,
right?
Mhm.
it conveys greatness that I didn't feel in the anime. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
well,
No, it's just like I think like if we're comparing like that scene, they did it way better at the end of the God, what episode was it? It was like the castle one.
yeah, episode 5.
Like
Yeah, I was
Mm.
actually
yeah.
thinking
Oh,
of that because
yeah.
that is the complete inverse situation. In the
Mm.
manga, that panel looks fine.
Eh.
In the
Yeah,
anime, that scene looks
very
absolutely
pretty,
breathtaking. So
but
here is the inverse. Like the episode 5 when Anya when they are in the castle, like
mm-hmm.
when she and Lloyd are having a moment outside of the castle under the starry sky.
Mm-hmm.
Like that shot in the anime looks completely beautiful. In the manga, it just
Yeah,
looks nice. In the
but
anime, it
Yeah,
but
looks
see, we
I
have.
think
Go ahead,
it's
Mines.
interesting because yeah, in the manga, I think that panel of Lloyd and Anya when they're like outside is like a smaller panel too.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like being the anime just like expanded it and just like made it so much better. But the panel of Damian and the boys when they're looking at the lake is supposed to be like a full page panel.
Right.
So you're kind of expecting that sort of like effect from the anime.
Exactly.
but
And
but
I think the problem that is coinciding with that is like Roski's pointing out is that half the budget of that first core went into episode 5, so it better look damn good, whereas there was no budget for this episode, so I could see why it's not that great. I mean, it was still a decent episode. I enjoyed the episode. Okay, I didn't
yeah,
hate it. I liked it. But it could have looked better. That's all it is. Yeah.
it's not a problem about the people behind it. I can see the talent. I still can see some excellent work in this
Mhm.
episode, animation wise and
Bond's
storyboarding
dance
wise. Yeah,
gives me
Bond's dance
life.
is so funny. No, I actually love how they translated his kick.
Oh my god, it was amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna make a gif of that and we'll put it on the end of this video or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
so but yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, nothing too terrible. Nothing of gigantic importance was lost, and
yeah.
we're probably gonna gain some really really cool fight scenes.
Oh
So
yeah.
I
so yeah, it's fine.
do miss the opportunity to just like it is an important part that Damien does exist outside of Anya and how
Absolutely.
she views him, kind of thing. I think it
Yeah,
would have been uh, like an important part if I mean, like I said, it's just one of those. I guess it's just a nitpicky thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
yeah,
Oh yeah. I mean, that's all we can say about it. Like I said,
it's
it's
a nitpick.
yeah, it's a nitpick. Overall, I think I think it was a good idea that they put these two together, and that they're putting they're putting another two together. I think Blue called it last episode. It was the next episode 28 is going to be Yuri, and I
Oh,
think
I think the little cookie episode,
Cookie episode.
Yeah, the macaroon.
the pastry of knowledge. Yeah.
Oh yes, the macaron of
Oh.
knowledge. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a good one too. So like, I see what they're doing. Like, obviously, the budget is not gonna be huge for these. It was you could tell a lot of effort went into that first episode, obviously, but like these are like the smaller episodes that are getting pushed together, and they're just kind of getting them out of the way. They're not rushing through it, but at the same time, like, okay, we know you guys want to see the action, so we're gonna get to the boat
They're
arc
not
and
getting
all
it.
that jazz.
They have to be
So
there, but they
Yeah.
aren't vital or.
yeah,
I like how they put these ones together because then it's just like, oh, it's boys' night.
basically, yeah, there weren't any really girls in this episode.
Saturdays are
It's
for the
like-
boys.
It's
Now
Boys'
they
night,
get the
boys'
shitty
night.
budget.
Kind of.
Well, so Bond isn't going to get a good budget, unfortunately, but he's a dog, so.
I mean, he
doesn't
did get a
need
good budget
one.
in
He's
his.
cute on his own.
He is
He
cute on
debuted.
his own. That, like I said, that dance gave me life. It was adorable. But yeah, I mean, that was the episode. Good episode. Like I said, I enjoyed it. Now, I want to talk about Pines. It's time to put on our tinfoil hats again. And I want us to focus on that first page of chapter 88 about what was his name again? The king?
King Willie the Second.
King Willie the Second of Ostania, I'm assuming.
I'm
I
assuming.
probably.
Well, okay, this kind of pops the lid open on a can of worms that I remember. Well, not just me, but a bunch of us had talked about years ago. Okay, I'm talking like, I think it was like chapter 42, 43. It was the macaron. Yeah, it was the macaron chapter. Because that was really when we started really discussing about, okay, so there's a royal family in Ostania, but nobody's talked about it. And also, you know, we didn't think about it at the time, but like, there's a fucking castle in chapter 5 or chapter 6 that we
Yeah,
just kind
but
of glossed over. But
I mean that
But
yeah,
we just assume
makes sense.
it's like it's pseudo Europe, so we just assume there's castles everywhere.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean there are.
right. But it's just kind of like it kind of comes out of nowhere because you're just like, okay, so there's royalty, but then you've also got like this like pseudo communism going on, which like if you taken from real world perspective, communism and royalty do not go together at all. So like,
But yeah, but, I mean, but the like many of the countries that became communist still had castles because
no, but
for
when I say there was like recently a royal, because the chef who we're gonna see in the next episode, he is a former royal chef. So
well,
there was royalty up until very recently,
Oh
at
shit!
least.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah. Oh no, I made a huge conspiracy post on Tumblr
So
about
they
all of this shit.
overthrew it.
And see, that's what I wanted to talk about because okay, a lot of this ties into God, I wish Blue was here. But they okay, so like Anya is what I'm trying to think of the chapter. I believe it was like chapter 47, 48. I don't know. It was the one where Anya oh no, maybe it was the macaroon one. Maybe I'm like smashing all these
yeah,
together. But okay, you know what I'm talking about, right? The one where Anya comes home and Lloyd's like, she did really well on classical language, which is like really weird.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
macaroon one because she got like her usual shitty grades, but something was like,
mhm.
oh, she did.
She
But
didn't do as bad.
Yeah. Well, he said if she spelled good, she would have got a really good grade, which is like okay. So I had to Google. I googled it at the time, and classical language isn't like English. It's like literally classical language is dead language. So like
Like
Hebrew
Latin.
and like Latin.
Latin
So
and
like she's one. Okay, why are these fucking first graders learning about Latin and shit? But
That's true.
second of all, like why would
because
Anya
it's
already know that stuff?
because rich kids in Europe. That's why. Like,
Even
Rich
then
kids in
though,
Europe.
but Anya knew, and
yeah,
she never been to school before, and she was an orphan. So like, how does she know all of this? And that was kind of the big. That was kind of like the main factor. That's what started this whole mess. Was just like, okay, so like we know that Anya is exposed to like old classical language. There was a royal family that isn't around apparently anymore. Uh, you know,
normal
was the
stuff.
war about that? Did they start the war? Did they get overthrown? Like, is Anya involved with this somehow? So I
Is
I
Anya secretly Princess Anastasia?
listen. I'm
Listen,
Oh.
45% sure that Anya is a princess.
No, I'll give you an extra 5%. Let's make it a 50. She's either a princess or she's not, so it's a 50-50.
oh my
No,
god.
well,
That's
she's a
not how
moon
probability
princess.
works.
She's
But
either a
okay,
princess or a moon princess. Either way, she's a princess. We'll call it here.
okay. So she's
Watch
either
this space. Watch this space.
Why
so
is the
she's
moon
either
involved? I want to know. Like, it makes no
uh,
sense.
yeah.
I'm yeah, I'm literally okay. I'm throwing the gauntlet down. Like I'm throwing the gloves. The gloves are coming off. Endo, I need to know because as as a test subject, and I discussed some of this in the Anya debrief. Please go watch that if you haven't already. But okay, so the two main assumptions at this point are either that Anya was given the powers by the organization, the whatever agency that was experimenting on her, or that she was born with the powers. I don't think she was given the powers because why would the moon affect her powers? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. The very fact that she can read minds is already completely fucking with what we know about neurology. So
Well, yeah, I'm just like I'm just thinking like okay, like the telepathy, you could still write it off as like man-made, like, you know, pseudoscience or whatever. But like you throw like a natural object like the moon, like okay, if the moon goes away, you can't use these powers we gave you. We don't know why, but you just can't. Like, I don't know. That doesn't seem like
Yeah, it
I
sounds a little
I
esoteric.
right. I don't know.
Because
I feel like Endo is
I
a bit
get
smarter with his
that,
writing
but I guess it depends
sometimes.
on. I guess it depends on. Okay, maybe
I
it
think
depends.
having like consequences to her powers or having a downside to her powers would make sense. But also, I think maybe her biological mother probably was experimented on. Um, and that's what gave Anya her powers. If you think about it in terms of spoilers, not spoilers,
Everything's a spoiler on this
One
show.
Piece and Sanji.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah,
um, if you think about it sort of like that,
Yeah.
I
Possibly.
think that is also a possibility.
Yeah.
but
I mean,
yeah,
everything's on the table right now.
I mean, I guess the practical reason why this was given to her is just to have a downside that can be conveniently put on and off. Like
See,
in the
I
more,
don't.
I mean, I know there's probably more to it,
Yeah.
but in practical terms, this is one of those where you can have a serious situation where Anya isn't asleep, yet she can't also use her powers. And to and while you can probably come up with other explanations, like let's for Superman uh, and his X-ray vision or whatever bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Doing something like that completely unrestricts any possible scenario. Wherever she
Mm-hmm.
is, she can use her powers if the situation demands it. But I was trying to think like what could it be, and I don't know. There's a lot of potential esoteric explanations that may tie into either fantasy or other forms of science fiction.
Right.
But I don't know. The
See,
first thing
and
that came to my mind was gravity. Strangely enough,
uh-huh.
yeah. I mean, it's the moon.
No, go on.
The different phases of the moon are tied to the translation of the moon around the Earth, and that at the same time is also tied to tides.
Uh-huh.
Sea tides. So
Are you saying Anya's a mermaid?
Annie's a fucking mermaid. Oh my god.
I mean, at this point, anything is possible. But I was more thinking about how the gravitational pull of the Earth affects the tides
hmm
in a predictable, consistent pattern. It's also the
Okay.
same way that the moon will affect Anya's mind reading abilities. So maybe Anya's mind reading abilities have something to do with gravity. So
Possibly.
I mean, but that will be a little crazy because if they have
Well,
something
I
to do with
mean,
gravity, that opens the possibility that should Anya develop more her abilities, and it turns out she can do more than just read minds,
I would
she
love
will
that.
be able to control gravity.
I want her to do something like towards even if it's like towards the end of the manga, maybe she has like telekinesis or something, like even just like limited telekinesis or something like that. That would be like a game changer, I
Yeah,
think, for the manga.
but it will go along with what I'm saying if she has telekinesis too.
Right. And that's the thing too is I forget the name of it, but I think it's literally just Moon Princess or Princess of the Moon. But that was Endo's last manga before this. I always thought it was Tista, but I didn't know he did another
No,
manga.
he did another one that was like a mix of sci-fi and the tale of Princess Kaguya and whatever.
Exactly. And I don't know. I feel like I have this sneaking suspicion in the back of my mind, and I don't have any proof at the moment. Like I keep trying to find proof every time a new chapter comes out, but I have this sneaking suspicion that deep down Spy Family is a fantasy manga. And I think Anya is the focal point of the fantasy aspect. I just don't know how. Like, I don't know if she's like, and here's the thing too that goes back to the whole classical language thing. I don't know if Endo's gonna pull some ass pull halfway through the manga and be like, well, actually, Anya's from the past, and some scientists found her, so now, and then they found out she can read minds, so they're raising her to be this weapon or whatever, and then Lloyd finds her, and I obviously Anya knows everything, but she's not gonna tell anybody till the very end, so. It's a little frustrating.
Well, she knows more than the rest of the cast, but we don't know how much she knows.
I think she knows pretty much everything. I mean, obviously she doesn't know Desmond. At least to our knowledge. Like I said, she didn't interact with him at all, so maybe she knows him without really knowing him. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't.
When that chapter dropped, like when Lloyd first made contact with Donovan, there was like the conspiracy theory. Yes, okay, I'm a conspiracy theorist when it comes to Spy Family.
Hell yeah.
That Donovan being in like the same vicinity of Anya is the reason why she like fell asleep, and that's why.
Ooh.
It's like, because he has those like little scars on his head, so maybe he was also experimented on, just like her.
Yeah.
And so maybe their powers negate, and she just fell asleep.
I fucking love that.
And
that will be pretty badass. But
yeah.
But let's keep our expectations in check, because
hell no. Have you been on this podcast before, Rosie?
No, yeah. But I'm just saying. I read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and we don't want to have another episode of Josuke's hair. So
no context whatsoever. Got it.
No, yeah. So there are times where manga authors do that. They establish a seemingly important idea that on itself is perfectly enough to give context to some character traits, and they don't elaborate on that, despite the fact the way it's set up looks like it's gonna be more. So I
mean, half the fun of this podcast is just conspiracy theory.
I know. It's just like, at this point, after seeing shit like that, it's like, maybe I'll wait and see.
So okay. Anyway, back to Pines. Back to your whole thing with Desmond possibly being a subject or a test subject. What if he was like 001? Because Anya is 007. So like, what if
are we bringing this back?
I'm bringing everything back.
Our other conspiracy theory that Melinda Desmond is the actual big bad of the series.
Oh my god! Yes, we need to talk about that. All right, everybody, open up your mind, your brain. We're about to blow it up sky high. Okay, what if Desmond is not the main antagonist of the series? What if it is perhaps his estranged wife, Melinda? What? I mean, okay, Pines, you break it down. Basically, what we were discussing this morning as we were all wrapping our heads in tinfoil.
It's just very suspicious that she's so invested in Damian's friendship with Anya. She either reads a lot of shoujo manga, or the fact that when Yor introduced herself as Anya's mother, she was suddenly so much more interested.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. I am crazy, but like maybe I'm just super crazy.
You're crazy among crazy friends.
You're crazy enough.
You're the right amount of crazy, because I am right there with you. I'm thinking, because I know Endo's making it out to look like, okay, Melinda has this like this love-hate relationship with their son, which could be true. I mean, it's probably true. I'm not gonna pretend like it's not. But I think also there's something more to that, because it's like, I don't know if, maybe she's also a test subject. Like, I'm just going to throw everything out the window. What if, like, because it does make me wonder. Okay, Anya's 007, Bond is 008. Okay, And that means they're relatively close to each other in terms of being experiments, because Bond can't be more than 10 years old. He's probably somewhere in the middle, like 5 years old. The same relative age that Anya is. So, like, how long were these experiments going for? And how many alive test subjects are there? So, like, I don't know if Melinda knows about it, if she's the one who wrote off on it, if she's the reason why Desmond has the scars on the side of his head. Like, there's a lot of arrows pointing towards Melinda as something more devious than what we've been presented, or how the manga has presented her.
Or we're just crazy.
I mean,
I mean
We're just crazy.
that's part of the equation always. But
always.
I don't know. I'm certain she's gonna be a bigger player than she's been introduced so far.
I think
Like,
she's gonna be more of a villain.
But
sure.
but that's the part that I'm not exactly sure, because I could easily see her as somewhat of an anti-hero in a way.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because that's not Endo's style to create one-note villains. So, like, I'm sure she or Desmond or whoever the main antagonist is has their reasons. But I think, like because I've always had the suspicion that Desmond is not the big bad of this
Yeah,
series.
there's a lot about Desmond that gives you that raises a lot of red flags about his actual role in the story. Starting by those fucking scars. Like, I am convinced something happened to him. Either he was experimented on, he set himself subject to experimentation, which is not the same.
Yeah.
A Red Skull thing, like, or I don't know, maybe he was experimented by Westalis or something like that too.
Possibly.
Ooh.
Because that will
fun.
Juicy.
He's like fought in the war too, right? Didn't Damian talk about that?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know either.
Let me not go full conspiracy theory.
Well,
yeah, because you sound unhinged.
I'm totally
unhinged.
Do.
No,
look, it's been a long day. I've had lots of adult beverages. My filter is gone.
Adult beverages.
Adult beverages. I don't know if I can say alcohol on YouTube, but there I go. I said
don't drink and podcast, kids.
Eventually, I want to. I want us to have a drunk podcast. I feel like that'd be very fun.
Wouldn't that be demonetized? I mean,
we're not monetized anyway. We have like a couple hundred views.
Woo!
Yeah, we're broke.
Then let's go. But no.
Oh, next Sunday's our anniversary.
Next Sunday's our anniversary?
Oh shit!
Yeah, next Sunday's our anniversary.
Oh my!
Maybe we'll do drunk podcasting sessions.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That will be something.
I mean, I think I'm free. It's a long weekend for me too.
Drink and Gartic phone.
We could do Gartic phone. We could do Don't Starve. We could do a little Don't Starve thing.
Ooh, that's fun.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we should totally do something.
Yeah.
Or maybe a server Among Us. That'd be. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Broski's.
We'll talk about
Broski's
it.
The imposter. Anyway. All right. Well,
what?
I think that pretty much covers everything that happened this weekend. We also covered everything else in our last podcast. That was only 5 days ago. So, we're on top of it so far, guys. Let's see if we can stay on top of it.
No, we're just doing our best.
We're just doing our best. We're vibing and surviving. That's what we do.
True
that. All right. Well, if there's nothing else to add, I guess we'll wrap it up for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye.
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 Bye.